I'm Lorna Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of the Red Deer Museum and Art Gallery, and this is such an exciting day for us. Over the last several years, our team here has been dreaming about a permanent exhibition to tell the story of the history of Red Deer. We've been working away, and we have now finally reached a major milestone in that process. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about that today. You know, our community, our visitors have told us that they are really anxious to learn more about Red Deer's history. And with so many newcomers in our city, as the city grows, it's really important for us to help them understand our history and understand the stories of this place. It's a very particular, very unique place with some incredible stories. And that's what we've been working on, is finding a way to tell them. So first of all, I'd like to welcome the members of City Council who are here today. Frank Wong, Tara Veer, Diane Winches, and Mayor Flewelling, and members of the Board of Directors of the Red Deer and District Museum Society. Our chair, Jean Graham, is here, Ron Crosley is here, and Marguerite Watson. And Tara Veer is kind of sitting in two positions. She is Council's representative on our board, and she is also a member of City Council. I would also like to introduce the members of the planning team for the history exhibition. Like I say, we've been working intensely for the last, well, it's probably, Michael tells me he's been working on it intensely for the last 30 years, but for the last 2 years, we've been meeting several times a week and having intense discussions about how best to tell the story of this community. And so our team is Michael Daw, who is our curator of history, and you all know him as Red Deer's archivist and historian and storyteller. Valerie Miller is our coordinator of collections. So Valerie is the person who is the expert on all of the 80,000 items in our collection, and she's been helping us choose the most appropriate artifacts for the exhibition. Rod Trentham is our coordinator of educational programs, and he has been working to make sure that the exhibition that we design will have a strong appeal for school groups and also be functional for all sorts of other programs to get people interested in history. And Karen Richardson McKenzie is our Assistant Director of Development and Marketing. So Karen is the person who will make sure that we get the word out about the exhibition, and she will be leading up our fund development project. So now I would like to introduce Jean Graham, who is the chair of the board, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about our aspirations for this project.
Thank you. Thank you, Lorna. Good morning, everyone. Exciting day today, and it is a great day out there, so what more could we ask for? I really am excited, and I hope you're excited, and I hope you're really excited when this conference is over. And I want you to go out and I want you to tell everybody in the whole world about what's happening right here in Red Deer, specifically in Red Deer, but tell the world because we want them to come. So this morning I'm really delighted to share with you just a brief background history of this event and how it came about. So as the museum board does each year, we develop a strategic plan. And when we were developing our 2012 strategic plan for the MAG, and of course the presentation to City Council, our board decided that our number one goal this year was going to be position the MAG as Red Deer's primary historical learning resource. And to do that, we needed to do things. So we determined that we would need to launch a major permanent exhibit featuring the history of Red Deer and its people, and that we needed to encourage general interest in the historical records based on the materials and the artifacts that we have been entrusted with. And you heard Lorna just mention that we have in our really exciting collection over 80,000 artifacts that have been donated by the residents of our local community. And that's a huge, rich history to be told. And we also knew that we needed to engage the entire community and the surrounding areas in dialogue, discussion, and learning through our exhibitions and understanding of this rich history, the community spirit, and the leadership that has created this current vibrant city that we live in. And again, I'm including the surrounding areas because they have made a huge contribution to the city of Red Deer. And we wanted this significant contribution to the centennial celebration of the city in Red Deer in 2013. So that's our target. It's a short time frame. It's a huge task we've given ourselves, but we're very confident that we can do that. So today we're launching The Place Between, Stories from the Heart of the Parkland. And that's what you're going to be hearing about. That's what you're going to be watching progress over the next year. This exhibit will be a source of pride to the city of Red Deer, a showpiece that will position the MAG as the hub for the history and culture in Red Deer and surrounding districts. We are anticipating and hoping to attract school children, adults, grandparents, everybody to come to Red Deer to see this exciting exhibit that is going to really illustrate who we are, where we came from, how we got here. It's going to be really an educational exhibit. It's going to create fun, enjoyable, memorable experience for visitors and residents as they learn about the community through our 10 themes. We have developed 10 themes, and you're going to be again hearing more about those. And these 10 themes are going to bring our history to life by using state-of-the-art technology, our rich artifact collection that I've just spoken about, and of course, the stories of the people who settled and created this wonderful community that we have. We plan this to be a center of discovery and learning for many generations and to instill a sense of pride and ownership in the changing displays of local artifacts that tell the story of our very own heritage in central Alberta. And of course, this legacy would not have been possible without the support from the City of Red Deer. And we want to extend our deepest thanks and appreciation to them for entrusting us to create this exhibit that we know will be a showpiece for future generations. So Mr. Mayor Morris and City Councillors, those of you who are present and those of you who aren't present, we again want to thank you for your trust and your vision in financially supporting the majority of this historical showpiece. So everyone here, please join me in thanking our incredible City Council.
So as I said, we've been working on the plans for this exhibition for a couple of years now. And when the city agreed to be our partner just before Christmas, we kind of launched into action. We launched a call for proposals for exhibit design services. And we had 14 submissions from all over the world. We had one submission from the UK, and we had the one that was the most amazing was we had a proposal from Iceland. But we also had submissions from the United States and across Canada. So it was really exciting to see the range of design companies that were interested in our project and to review them. We had a team who spent about 2 days going through all the proposals and trying to see what would be the best fit with what we wanted to do. We wanted an exhibition that was would, as Jean was saying, would be excellent, would be a landmark for the city, for Alberta. We wanted creativity. We didn't want to kind of repeat some of the old museum conventions. We really wanted multimedia. We wanted an engaging approach to learning about history. So after 2 days of deliberation, we selected the firm of Reich & Petch Design International from Toronto. Reich & Petch has been in the exhibit design business for over 25 years. They've designed major exhibitions for institutions like the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., for Upper Canada Village, for the Royal Ontario Museum. So they certainly had an incredible reputation. Recently, they've done a number of projects in Western Canada, so we also know that they have a bit of understanding of our history. And I guess the other determining factor in selecting Reich & Petch was that on their team they included a Red Deer consultant, Anna Robertson, who will be the interpretive planner for the project. So again, we've got a local connection there and someone who understands our stories and can help us bring out the very best in that. So now via video link, I would like to introduce Tony Reich, who's the principal of Reich & Petch. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Lorna. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. It's good to be connected to you by digital means, and I just want to say that we at Reich and Petch are very excited to be involved in this very exciting project. We often refer to these as a kind of once-in-a-generation opportunity, so we want to pour a lot of design energy and spirit into the project. We've already started by meeting with the group and the board, and we've had some very good kick-off meetings to establish basic goals and principles. We've started also looking at the space and coming to grips with the fact that part of it will be a permanent gallery and part will be changing exhibit space within the galleries at the museum. So we're just at the very early stage, but we're crafting some very early goals and objectives and ideas. And basically the goal of the museum is to provide an exhibit. This is what we're very excited about, really, that is a showpiece that will present, inspire pride in Red Deer's unique history and position the museum as a hub for history and culture, in Red Deer and the area. And that's a wonderful aspiration, because the collections are, we believe, world class in their content and in the quality and in some of the artifacts they have. Makes it all more exciting. I think also the desire of the museum to make this very appealing to all ages and very interactive and very hands-on, engaging gallery is very exciting prospect for us. We really enjoy these challenges, and we have been doing these kinds of interactive galleries over the years, and actually winning many awards for our work. We were very thrilled last year to win one of the AAM, American Association Museum Awards, for a gallery we did in Los Angeles for the Museum of Natural History there, and for the Canadian Museum of Nature. So we're very up for this challenge. The other thing is that we're very conscious that this should last well and be something that instills pride in the community. So we want to make it very long-lasting and timeless in character. If I can just say a few things about Reich and Petch. We're an international design firm, and when you have the name international attached to your name, you kind of have an obligation to go out to the international community. So over the years, we've worked in 22 different countries. We've worked on 12 national museums internationally. We're very proud of our work, and we continue to promote international work as one of Canada's premier exhibit design companies. Currently, we're working on a new museum in Saudi Arabia and a new museum in New Mexico, in Las Cruces. So we're really having an advantage of looking at a very wide demographic. And these are often very important because we understand how large and diverse the demographic is in Red Deer these days. So it'll be a great help to us to appeal to the new audience, and then perhaps even some people that aren't coming to the museum at the moment. We can get them in and get them excited about the new exhibits. As I mentioned, we're very thrilled about the idea of an artifact-rich gallery, and we're really looking forward to working with the curator and the archivists and collections manager on getting some of these museums out on, these collections out on public display, so the general public can see what wonderful collections you've had hidden in those storage rooms all those years. So that's, if I can take any questions, is that appropriate, Lorna?
Maybe, sure, let's, if there are any questions right off the get-go. We'll have a kind of a media scrum at the end of the launch. But does anyone have any questions for Tony? No? Diane?
Hello, Tony. My question is there anything so far that has struck you that's exciting and interesting about Red Deer?
Were you able to hear that? Is there anything that struck you as exciting and interesting about Red Deer?
Well, I think that, yes, that one of the things that's very exciting for us is that we've discovered that actually Red Deer is very different from other communities, or its history is very different from other communities in Canada. And when we were toying with the title, somebody suggested, that the title should be, "This is not your average homestead story." Red Deer has a much bigger story to tell, and a much, and a very interesting story to tell. And I think the collections will illustrate that.
Great, thank you, Tony. And I think we'll reserve other questions till the end of the presentation. So, thanks again.
Okay.
One of our challenges is we have a very ambitious timeline for this project. So we will unveil the completed exhibition in just a little more than 1 year from now. So it will be complete by the beginning of March of 2013, just in time to launch the city's centennial celebrations. So we have quite a long way to go before then. Just like the old saying that it takes a whole village to raise a child, I guess it takes a whole community to make an effective exhibition. And it will take all of the community to help us realize this exhibition. As Tony said, we've got a design process underway. I guess I would ask you to mark in your calendars February 29th, leap year, Sadie Hawkins Day. We will present the concept designs for the exhibition on that day. And we will be having an open house here at the museum and inviting your input and comments on where we've got to so far. So that's definitely an exciting day to come. Today we're also launching our plans to raise our share of the funds for this exhibition. The City of Red Deer has generously given us $1 million towards the project. Our estimated cost of the project is in the neighborhood of $1.2 to $1.5 million. So we do have a little bit of a journey ahead of us in terms of the financial support for the project. And so I would now like to invite Karen Richardson-McKenzie, our Manager of Development, to tell us a little bit about that plan.
Good morning, everyone. As Lorna and Jane have shared with you today, the place between responds to a need expressed by our members, our visitors, and our community. This project is a significant milestone for the Museum Society. In the early 70s, grassroots community members in Red Deer and surrounding area conceived and realized a vision, that of a community museum. Through their volunteer efforts and donations, they raised this building. The New History Project is an important endeavor. It both honors and builds on their achievements, as well as the dedication and staff and management over the past 4 decades. Today, our membership stands at about 600 people. Over 26,000 visitors came through the museum doors in 2011. Approximately 2,500 school students and parents attended our programs, our educational programs, and 1,800 adults and children shared family time together at our magnificent Saturday drop-in program. Now the 3rd largest city in the province, Red Deer's growth and development models the diverse culture our community now represents. The city's restaurants, galleries, theater companies, libraries, festivals, and sports and recreation facilities contribute to the vitality of the city and the downtown in particular. Working with Tourism Red Deer and other attractions, the MAG, Alberta Sports Hall of Fame, Sunnybrook Farm, and Kerrywood Nature Centre and walking trails become key attractions for visitors and tourists. Our fundraising goal is about $500,000, $500,000. We have several funding strategies planned. The project is eligible for grants from a variety of sources, both government and established foundations. Public and private partnerships will be fundamental to the project. Our plan includes a variety of opportunities to support this project. We'll consider all donations, sponsorship opportunities, special fundraising events, and our campaign club plans are in the works. We believe many individuals and members of our business community will see inherent value in this project, and we'll be rolling out details in the next 2 weeks. Our primary goal is to create a center of discovery and learning and be the showpiece in the region and a legacy for future generations. And this exhibition is a testament to the spirit and the leadership. As the campaign logo will suggest, our target is achievable, and in 14 months, we will open to celebrate the festivities of Red Deer's centennial in early 2013. So now, we are going to present Making History. So as the logo presents, we indeed will be making history as we proceed over the next year. Everyone that's involved in the process will be a participant. Our target will be realized and in time to celebrate with the rest of the city. Thank you.
Mayor Flewelling, you've seen so many changes in this museum, and like we've been saying all along, we really couldn't have made this gigantic step without the support of the City of Red Deer, City Council, and the Department of Culture, Parks and Recreation. You've all been tremendous supporters of our transformation and of our journey towards this project. And Mayor Morris, I wonder if you'd like to come and say a few words.
Well, thank you, Lorna, and good morning, everybody. Yes, I'd love to say a few words. Jean, you said, are we excited? You bet we're excited. This is almost as exciting as when we opened this building. The only difference is this is very high tech. You have really got new tools to work with, Lorna. And in the 40 years that have elapsed over that time, and I'm going to take you back through some of those years, so fasten your seatbelts. We had nothing like this to work with. And so this sort of material for programming, which is so absolutely vital to the success of the museum and people's understanding, the ability to use the online material, the web, all of that makes everything so accessible to people. So the exhibit will be sort of it's the tantalizing little appetizer, and then they can get home and they can do all of the work online. But I have to admit, I'm old school. This would not work for me. But what a wonderful gift this will be to our centennial in our city. It will be one of the jewels in the crown of that entire year. As many of you know, and if you don't, you're going to learn, that I was the director of this museum shortly after it began. I was a volunteer in the beginning. This museum has huge roots in the community. The whole idea of a museum to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the city of Red Deer, which is now coming to its 100th anniversary, was Jeannie Dawes' idea. Michael Dawes in the audience, it was his mother's idea. She said, let's have a museum, and we don't have a museum. We were one of the last in the province not to get a museum. So we developed this museum. It became a regional museum. We built a sort of a pioneer home in the permanent galleries, and I can remember the director of the Provincial Museum at the time said, Morris, don't do that. Morris, you'll kill it. Don't do that. And I said, I don't think you know what you're talking about in our museum setting. So we built a fairly substantial permanent exhibit, and it weathered about 25 or 30 years. It got a little tired at the end, and it was buttressed by Where the Old Man Slept, which was an Aboriginal exhibit that we inserted into it partway along there. And it was unique in Canada in that it had Cree syllabics as part of the labels. They were in French and English and in Cree. First time that had ever been done. So when the old exhibit left, I felt a little of my heart being torn out. And I know that we have been without sort of a permanent exhibit as we've done the extensions to the building and so on here. We've been without that permanent exhibit, that permanent piece that tells us who we really are and shares that message with our neighbor. The collections that we have in this museum, ladies and gentlemen, are absolutely unbelievably rich. They're 85 or 90,000, but they are some of the most important collections in the world. We have huge archaeological collections, the Swallow collection that's on exhibit right now. We have the only the only existing Canadian prisoner of war uniform that exists. We have stories to tell. What makes us unique? Yes, we are not the average prairie city. We set that out. We're a town all about railroads. There's the story of the convent. There's the story of George Moon and the Club Cafe and the Russell Candy Factory, where they developed puffed wheat squares by the man who had developed the banana split before he came to Red Deer. We had Kerry Wood and the RDRN that has followed the Alberta Natural History Society, the first that was developed in the whole province. We are noted for our fleas, and I'm not going to tell you about that. We're noted for Rosalind of Old Basing, the cow who had the highest butterfat content in the British Commonwealth, God bless you, in 1912. We had the first central-powered telephones. We had the highest voluntary enlistment in both world wars. We had the Presbyterian Ladies' College. And it goes on, and there is just so much that we can tell. There won't be room for it all, but we will have to be selective, and it will have minor changes to it as time goes on. But it is just so rich. And so it's interesting that the title for the new exhibit is The Place Between, because one of the major exhibits that we put in the permanent gallery before was The Place Where the Old Man Slept, and that was an honor for our Aboriginal people. So The Place Between will be all about our natural history, the Aboriginal history, the settlement history, and the subsequent immigration history that has made our community a multinational community that we have today. So we've gone through some wonderful times at this museum, and I think we're on the very lip of another great adventure. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Morris. And Morris, I just would like to assure you that we have one of the first criteria for the exhibition was that it be artifact rich. So that's as we've been working through our storyline, we've been saying, what's the physical evidence of this? How can we say that? What do we have that we can show? So the audio visual certainly adds another dimension, but it's not at the expense of the artifacts by any means. The exhibition will be a focal point. We've decided to take a thematic approach this time rather than a kind of chronology, because as Tony mentioned, the permanent exhibition, the history exhibition, will take about half of our available exhibition space. That leaves the other half for changing exhibitions. So what the permanent exhibition will provide then is the historical anchor. It will provide the beginnings of the stories that we can then amplify through a changing exhibition program over the years. So again, it really gives us another dimension to help people understand who's here. So we really believe that this museum should be a focal point for discovering the history and culture of our community. Our new exhibition will be a showpiece, and we are certain that every citizen will be proud of it. It will be a starting point for discovering the city. It will be a starting point for people looking at the city with new, fresh, better informed eyes. And it will help them to imagine how it was in the past. And Morris, you bring some of those stories to life. And I think it will also help them envision what the city might be in the future. So we are so excited about this journey, and we hope you will come along and be with us every step of the way.